Hi, welcome to this week's Fireside Chat, a time when I ruminate about current events, share a video or two, and goof around with some punny humor. The wonder of technology allows me to share this all with you while you can choose to watch or click something else. I must admit that the technological magic that our tech crew creates made me think of this joke. I know it's not as funny if the joke is explained, but for those who missed it, look at the word magician, take off the first 5 letters, and you have the answer. Here's another one that might take some time to get. Sorry, as many of you already know, I am full of baloney. As someone who majored in math in the first 2 years of university, this cartoon captures the ennui of summer family road trips combined with geometry. Then there are those classic rock songs that can be funny with a twist on the lyrics. Speaking of music, sometimes, however, we worry about the differences among us. This pandemic, which isn't over yet by any means, sometimes feels like the end of times. Some of us have resented pandemic public health rules, looking for loopholes so we can feel less confined while wishing we could return to the familiarity of the before times. When we feel lost like that, we just want some sort of guidance so we can help ourselves. I have discovered in my conversations with people, both in the church and in the wider community, that there is an overwhelming feeling these days of dislocation. We don't recognize the usual familiar landmarks. Although we have pivoted and pivoted again, nothing feels quite right. In fact, there have been substantial losses, all losses that we grieve. But grief isn't just for death, you see. It's also for friendships that have ended. It's also for losing your community. It's also for missing the certainty you once had. It's also for questioning your judgment. It's also for releasing who you once were. It's also for feeling lost and unanchored. It's also for losing traditions you loved. Just this past Saturday, I had dinner with my siblings and their partners. Our conversation centered around how things have changed and how we are all trying to adjust. It included much of what I just listed as things we grieve, friendships which have ended many times because of differing perceptions of reality, the loss of community, particularly the people at church we love to see in person, the loss of certainty about what works and what is safe, the questioning of our own judgment to keep safe while trying to reconnect with others, the need to let go of who we were before the pandemic and lean into how we have to be in our 7th wave of the pandemic, our continuing feeling of dislocation, the longing for traditions that no longer work, our continuing feeling of but there are at least familiar and comfortable things that they were. Indeed, we just want things back the way they were. We want to know God's plan so that we can have certainty again. We want God to rescue us, to shelter us, and to protect us. In fact, this song, written by Josie Buchanan, Hunter Thompson, and Paul McClure, and sung by Josie Buchanan, is titled Whatever Your Plan Is. As you watch this video, consider it a prayer of wistful longing when we feel lost.
come and do it here. Whatever your plan is, you'll make a way for it. Whatever your will is, come and do it here.
This kind of longing prayer is understandable, but unnecessary. You see, Jesus has already demonstrated the plan. The plan is rooted in love, self-giving love, the love that sacrifices for others, the love that connects each of us to one another. If we but follow that path, God will, as the song asked, have God's way with us, ways that have never failed, the way of love. As Henry Nouwen once said, spiritual identity means that we are not what we do or what people say about us. We are the beloved people of God, part of the family of God in Christ. Let's start with that assurance. The next step is to recognize that we aren't called to be like other Christians. We are called to be like Christ. That is where our purpose is discovered as we grow in our faith. When we feel lost, God is looking into the distance for you and me, trying to find us and longing to bring each of us home. Our challenge is that we just want to snuggle into God's embrace and ignore the world. That doesn't work. Instead of connecting us more widely and powerfully with one another, we actually become more isolated, not unlike what we experienced over the past few years. After all, we are the church. The church cannot be the salt of the earth if we keep sugarcoating the gospel. Now, I do not in any way mean that the gospel is harsh. However, the gospel of self-giving love is challenging, draining, and all-consuming. In 2021, I led a series of town halls with various committees of Kincardine United Church, as well as hosting 2 town halls with those of our community of faith that are not currently in leadership roles. I kept asking the question, why are we here as a family of faith? The responses were filled with wisdom and with direction for our mission. Here is a word cloud of the responses. Notice words like community, spiritual, relationships, trust, people, journey, diversity, differences, faith, shared, explore, safe, welcoming, and engage. All of these insights speak to Christ-like faithful living, which centers in love. Love creates ripples that extend far beyond our own lives and not just to those closest to us. When we are always kind, if we see someone falling behind, we walk beside them. If someone is being ignored, we find a way to include them. If someone has been knocked down, we lift them up. We always remind people of their worth. We try to be who we needed when we were going through hard times. Like ripples in the water, a small act of kindness can go a long way. One small example of such thoughtfulness and kindness is demonstrated in this video. It has been shared online hundreds of thousands of times. What was originally just a small few in a restaurant has spread worldwide. These ripples of love are powerful beyond our expectations.
There we go. I want to wish you happy birthday.
He's so neat. I want you to give me your hand.
fucking way. They did not.
You guys are amazing.
Oh my gosh. Are you kidding me? It's insane. Oh my God. Thank you so much.
One of those ripples of love and sharing you, the people of Kincardine United Church, have given me. I'm going on sabbatical from this September 5th to January 9th next year. I need a sabbatical to take some time to listen carefully to the Spirit's direction in my ministry, the ministry I share with all of you. One purpose of my sabbatical is to keep me humble. You see, leaders who refuse to hear criticism choose not to learn. The higher anyone climbs, the more people hesitate to challenge you. Silencing dissent is a step towards becoming a dictator. A culture of voice begins with admitting gaps in your knowledge and rewarding those who speak up. Therefore, my sabbatical will be full of learning, of being challenged, and of listening. In late September, I will go to this ancient abbey on the island of Iona in Scotland to live for a week. There, worship is hosted 3 times a day in the chapel. As well, I will enjoy much discussion with fellow residents of the abbey. I expect to listen carefully for the Spirit's whispers, helping me to discern the way forward for the mission of Kincardine United Church, as well as for me. Beginning in October, I will take a 7-week online course from the Center for Action and Contemplation in Albuquerque, New Mexico, one instructor of which is Father Richard Rohr. As the slide indicates, it is titled The Franciscan Way. I expect to learn new pathways in my spiritual journeying. I will also be reading 3 books: Grace and Gigabytes, Being Church in a Tech-Shaped Culture, Following, Embodied Discipleship in a Digital Age, and Church After, Finding Transformation in Unexpected Change. I want to learn more about being a hybrid church while sharing the love of God revealed in Christ in today's world, not the world of the past. I have signed up for a 1-week online gathering of ministry personnel from across North America to discuss and to wrestle with how to effectively utilize digital ministry. I will be taking a series of webinars from Zoom to learn more thoroughly the possibilities of this digital platform our community of faith uses. I will be taking webinars from the LinkedIn platform for the same purpose. Then I will be exploring future possibilities through webinars teaching about Web 3.0. Web 3.0 is the projected next iteration of the World Wide Web. By studying this coming technology reality, I want to be prepared for the future challenges as new online utilities are developed. Finally, I will be re-examining the resources I gathered during my sabbatical 8 years ago about small group ministry. As the image indicates, small groups are places to pray, to share, to grow in faith, to learn how to love one another, and how to laugh through it all. Why would I want to revisit what I already learned? Because I am concerned that the pandemic has isolated us too much from one another. I worry that one of the consequences of the past 2 years and more is that we are far less engaged in our collective ministry than we once were. I believe that small group ministry may well be one avenue to reconnect and to reinvigorate. In light of my plans, when I depart on my sabbatical this fall, please hold me in your prayers, prayers that God will indeed whisper guidance, strength, and vision to my soul. Speaking of technology and the hybrid ministry into which we continue to move and to grow, Thank you to Mary and John Phillips who are recording this fireside chat and making the slide and the videos flow so smoothly. As well, Terry Boyd and David Skinner upload all of this to our YouTube channel where you found us. I think we make a pretty good team. The blessing I offer to you for today comes from the Celtic tradition. As you listen to the words, may this image remind you that all life is a glorious rainbow web of connection, of interdependence, and of beauty. May the strength of the wind and the light of the sun, the softness of the rain and the mystery of the moon reach you and fill you. May beauty delight you and happiness uplift you. May wonder fulfill you and love surround you. May your step be steady and your arm be strong. May your heart be peaceful and your word be true. May you seek to learn. May you learn to live. May you live to love. And may you love always. Until the next fireside chat on July 26th, goodbye.